Sorry, there are lots of actually technical issues, I guess. So digital team is working on it. Hope we will resolve soon. Yeah, now actually we were in middle of this how Indian foreign policy is coming out from the yoke of this uh, old and outdated policy of non-interferences. Now we are trying to influence the foreign government at least by our the soft power at least, and we have now more open and pragmatic diplomatic policies. But there are certain apprehensions also, like yes, this government or Modi government is having good relation with Trump, at least he's showing this. What about in case Trump is not coming again to the power, as he is also being charged for the case of impeachment उनके ऊपर क्या लगा था बेसिकली, क्योंकि इज उनका एक टेलीफोन रिकॉर्ड ओपन हुआ है, मतलब ओपन किसी विशल ब्लॉगर ने किया है कि ट्राई टू कॉल द लीडर ऑफ यूक्रेन न्यूली इलेक्टेड वन ऑफ कॉमेडियन ऑफ यूक्रेन to put some dirt on the son of Bernie Sanders, and is considered as one of grave kind of I will say crime against the democracy, at least in the US politics. So he's being charged for the impeachment. Let us see what will happen. So there are apprehensions that in case the Trump government or this government, current Republican government, is not coming to the power, what will happen to the India? Will we be dejected? No, basically, no worry. Actually, friends, nobody carries its election rhetoric into this foreign policy. Bernie Sanders is actually, as of now, against the move of India, as we have abrogated Article 370, but because he is also having this politically charged opinion. Reason being, he is having a large base of Pakistan supporters, voters, like NRIs are supporting the, let us suppose if NRIs are in large numbers are supporting Trump, Trump will have to definitely realign its policy towards the India, will give more visas to Indian nationals. The same goes with Bernie Sanders, who actually wrote a open-end article on Houston Times criticizing India's move and the violation of the this human rights in Kashmir, because he is having this large Pakistani or Muslim supporters, voters. That's why he is doing that. In case he is coming to the power, definitely there need to be some rearrangement in terms of foreign policy, either both by Indian side, by the US side. But we don't have to worry as much, because India is a no, too powerful, too important, and too useful country to ignore or snub basically. And no rational leader will take India lightly with prejudged hostility. So that's why there is no need to worry. In case he is showing some hostility towards India, definitely Indian government will try to realign and adjust the foreign policy as best suited to the next government. Basically, friends, everybody gives upon losers. Basically, this is the stark reality of life, that everybody gives upon this losers. When I talk about everybody is gives upon the losers, remember Benjamin Netanyahu, he shares a very good rapport with Modi, but strangely he is now basically into minority government. I will rather say he's out of the government as of now from Israel. So look for the change statement of this government. India's friendship is with Israel. That was the statement from the government itself issued. So we can see that we are capable, or we are smart enough to realign and readjust our foreign policy. So there is no need to worry. Basically, friends, leaders of big country do not base their policy on the personal preferences. So this is the basic fundamental. And when we call about this all these things, there is one interesting term basically, Bush derangement syndrome. Very interesting. What is it actually? And it is very relevant to Indian context also. Actually, what was the Bush derangement syndrome? When he was fighting election in US back to 2003 and 2, one right wing columnist with the name Charles. I am not able to recall the name exactly, but he was named as Charles. He wrote an article about the Bush, and wherein he invented the this phrase Bush derangement syndrome. Actually, I will like to quote the statement from this right wing columnist itself in order to give a clarity to you. He wrote that this acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal people in relation to the politics, the presidency, nay, the very existence of the Bush. It means कि when it comes about the politics and liking or disliking of any political leader, तो एक large chunk of population जो basically neutral होती है in terms of polity and policy, वो या तो एक certain लोगों के लिए dislike उनका काफी बढ़ जाता है या like काफी बढ़ जाता है. Same goes with the Trump derangement syndromes, उनके भी dislikers बहुत हैं. Now coming to the India, there was actually Rahul derangement syndrome, and there is Modi derangement syndrome. मोदी का भी एक क्लास सेक्शन सपोर्टर्स है, एक क्लास सेक्शन उनका हेटर्स है. So he is also suffering, those people are also suffering from this Modi derangement syndrome. Now, why am I quoting all these things? Coming to the Howdy Modi event, interestingly, there was convergence of Trump and Modi derangement syndrome in Howdy Modi when they walked hand into hand. So that's why I'm quoting this thing. Now, what was actual outcome for India? There are few positives as well as few negatives when we talk about this foreign policy. I'm not talking about any personal thing, any personal relation or rapport between two leaders. I'm talking about the foreign policy of India itself. Now, when it comes about this foreign policy of India, there are 4 or 5 gains that India definitely made. First, now the world and the US government accepted this view that Kashmir is an internal issue of India and it need not to be dragged into UN, or there is no need of multilateral talk between India and Pakistan on the issue of the Kashmir. This was first basically achievement of this Howdy Modi event or the foreign policy nudge of India itself. Now, coming to the second achievement, basically Pakistan was expecting a lot of reaction from world in general and from the Trump in particular, but Trump basically snubbed Pakistan while endorsing Kashmir is an internal issue of India. All credit goes to the large number of NRIs, actually those who participated into this Howdy Modi event. So definitely it molded the views of Trump itself. Coming to the third benefit or the achievement of India, by the Indian establishment, there was no mention of Pakistan. Actually, world is also given its obsession with the Pakistan. Indian establishment, when we say about the Indian establishment, मोदी ने कभी भी इस बार हॉडी मोदी इवेंट में पाकिस्तान का डायरेक्ट रेफरेंस नहीं लिया, ऑल्दो उन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं पुश किया बट नाम डायरेक्ट नहीं आया, बिकॉज वी आर ट्राइंग टू move on from the Pakistan to something else. We are not struck by any nation or anything, or we are not obsessed with it. So it is considered as the change in this foreign policy strategy by the India. Now coming to the fourth achievement, what optics show that Trump treated Modi at par with him, which actually enhances the personal stature of Modi in general, in particular, and the stature of Indians in general, which definitely is beneficial for the Modi and as well as in India. So these were actually four visible achievement of this Howdy Modi event. But as we go, as we said earlier, that we will do clinical analysis of each and everything. We will give some negative aspect of this event as well. As per this, when we see and in case you are observing the news itself, so Modi basically we try to portray that this Pakistan is epicenter of terror, but Trump swang when it is asked by the Indian journalist. Trump swang into this another tangent, and he quoted Iran as the epicenter of this terrorism, or the cradle of terrorism was quoted as Iran. He did it very smartly. Now onus is shifted from the Pakistan to this Iran. Basically, when it comes about the Iran, neither Indian establishment were happy with it nor the Pakistanis, because Pakistanis are trying to get into the good relation with Iran, and India is definitely uncomfortable calling Iran as the cradle of terrorism instead of Pakistan. So there was, it was a lose-lose situation for India as well as the Pakistan. Second, coming to the second negative, the trade deal between India and US, which is a major point of contention. It is still underway. It is not final. So we will see if it is being finalized or not. Now, third thing is world accepts Kashmir as India's internal position or internal issue, but they are increasingly, worried about this unfavorable situation in the Kashmir, even the human rights violation or the imposition of restrictions on general mass. So patience of world may run out after a few days or months. और ये ऐसे भी प्रूफ होता है कि ट्रंप ने बेसिकली कहा कि आई होप कि मोदी विल टेक केयर ऑफ द कश्मीरीज, ये उनका स्टेटमेंट था. दैट डेफिनेटली मीन there is a signal to take care of the Kashmiris as well. So it is also one of, as of now, negative thing for the India in large, but it is good also at certain point. Now, fourth and very interesting point, that India has been dragged into this US bitter, polarized and partisan politics, intentionally or intentionally, and definitely it will harm India's image somehow. How it will be done, it is a matter of analysis actually. And as we said, Trump is also facing impeachment, so nothing is permanent as of now. So it will be a big game by Modi. Let us see if he's winning or losing it. Now when we talk about Trump and we can't ignore trade. Basically, how Trump trade and taxes are related, I will give next 5 or 10 minutes to it. Coming to a very interesting corollary between Texas and Kashmir, I will go back to 1994. Basically, friends, India and US are one of India is one of largest democracy and US is one of most powerful democracy. The two countries, it means India and US, have never been hostile relation between among themselves, barring a short period of time. First Nixon, second is Clinton 1 regime or Clinton 1.0 regime. Clinton 1.0 was quite hostile to India. Clinton 2.0 was quite favorable to India. But for a long time, India and US neither shows a warm relationship as well. What was the reason? The name and the Cold War. India was apparently on the side of Russia, so definitely US was finding it quite erratic, and the Pakistan was favorite boy for US at that time. NAM, India after this Cold War, NAM was the official foreign policy thing for India, so it also created some distance, and basically there was an ideological paranoia which we call Americophobia in Indian leaders and in common people of India. So these were the reason. But the India relation between India and US was neither cold neither warm. So, but exactly 25 years back, when Raw visited US in 1994, actually the position of India was not so strong, and India was in big mess. How? It was the worst phase of violence in Kashmir as well as in Punjab. So it was actually the hardcore or this masculine policy of Narasimha Rao, that he was non-negotiable upon this terrorism and the violence, and he actually put it down टेररिज्म ब्रूटली. उन्होंने काफी रथलेसली टेररिज्म के ऊपर एक्ट किया था, जिसके कारण डेफिनेटली कहीं ना कहीं काउंटर फोर्सेस भी होते हैं, भी आप कहीं एक्शन करते हैं उसके ऊपर रिएक्शन होता है. सो इन द एंटायर वर्ल्ड देयर वाज बज अबाउट दिस ह्यूमन राइट वायलेशंस इन इंडिया इन टर्म्स ऑफ कश्मीर एंड पंजाब. And at that time, the woolly-headed Clinton was actually hostile to Indian interest, because at that time India was not an economic superpower. Remember this 1992 situation. Second, there was a string of violence in India when it talks about this Kashmir and Punjab. So the entire world as well, the Clinton government was hostile to India. But the biggest achievement of Narasimha Rao was basically he drew a corollary between Texas and Kashmir. Now, how he drew a corollary between Texas and Kashmir? Basically, when you go to this history of Texas, it was basically a part of Mexico until I guess 1880, I guess, until 1880. The Texas was part of Mexico, which was annexed by or the assessed by this US government, and Supreme Court called it basically Supreme Court of US endorsed this as the internal matter of US. The same was quoted by Narasimha Rao when he was giving he was addressing the parliament of the US. So he drew a corollary that, look, Texas was not part of you, but later on you have signed a deal and it was quite internalized by you people. The same goes with the Kashmir and Kashmiris. So by this he actually convinced a large population out there that Kashmir is a matter of India's internal interest, and with time actually the world also started to believe this also. Now, but when we talk about the current scenario, the position of India is changed tremendously. Now we are an economic superpower. We are very good into this, soft powers and hard powers also. Actually, Modi did one thing which no PM has done so far. He abrogated Article 370 itself. And beside that, he is going to the US just 2 months back, and there is actually no backlash on it. It is a big feat for India. And it is not the achievement of this government only, but the government of last 25 years is smartly putting its feet into this foreign policy to internalize or realize the world as Kashmir is actually a matter of internal thing for India. So that was the achievement that is worth mentioning. These were the broad contours that need to be taken care of. Now, actually, when we talk about the foreign relation relation between India and US, definitely we are largely on the same page on various issues like strategic, security, ideological, or moral ground. But still, of late, there is news of some new crisis between India and US relation. And what is this new crisis? just go to my one of previous video lecture on the US Taliban talks, wherein US is somehow agreed to give concession to the Taliban, which is actually hampering the prospect of India. So there was some news of new crisis which will come out, but अच्छा हुआ कि वो तालिबान और यूएस का टॉक सस्पेंड हो गया। एज ऑफ नाउ वो हमारे फेवर में ही हुआ है। और मैंने इसके पीछे भी एक वीडियो बनाई थी, इन केस यू आर इंटरेस्टेड सो यू कैन रेफर दिस वीडियो आल्सो। बट जब दो लोग होते हैं, एक्चुअली जो बर्तन होता है तो कहीं ना कहीं आवाज आती है। सो देयर आर सम इश्यूज बिटवीन इंडिया एंड यूएस एज वेल। एंड व्हाट इज द इशू? ट्रेड। नाउ when we talk about these issues between two nations, there are two theories. Issue between strong nation and weak nation, issue between strong nation and strong nation. Now when we talk about this issue between strong nation and weak nation always look for aid. At the same time, the strong nation look for trade. Weak nation, for example, Pakistan, when Pakistani leader is visiting US, they actually look for some aid from US. But when Indian strong nation like India and the political leaders from India visit US, the talk is on the trade. So definitely there is a large gap between aid and trade, and it shows that you have having this strategic stature. So we are definitely having this trade issue. And when we talk about the trade issues, try to go to this few keywords of the Howdy Modi, Howdy Modi के भाषण के कुछ वर्ड्स आप देखते हैं। तो मोदी ने कहा था कि ट्रम्प उनको टफ नेगोशिएटर कहते हैं, और मोदी ने ट्रम्प को गुड डील मेकर कहा। और ये ऐसे एक दूसरे की तारीफ नहीं करे, बेसिकली इसके पीछे ट्रेड रीजन है। अब जब एक दूसरे का दोनों ने इंडोर्स कर दिया, डेफिनेटली मोदी इज गिविंग गुड सिग्नल टू द ट्रम्प दैट ऑल्दो ही इज अ टफ नेगोशिएटर, बट ट्रम्प इज ए गुड डील मेकर. So he is giving a ray of hope to Trump also that he can strike some trade deal with India. When it talks about the trade deal, basically Trump called India as a trafficking in terms of Harley Davidson, medical implants, or change in the e-commerce rules. So there is a heavy traffic from the Indian side. That's why US is critical of Indian trade policy, and actually US is also not giving a big concession, but India was as of now in denial mode, given the reason why India was going to the election. एंड उन्होंने शायद बोला होगा कि आप इलेक्शन तक वेट कर लीजिए, क्योंकि इलेक्शन में आपको कंसेशन दे दिया तो कहीं ना कहीं ये बैकफायर कर जाएगा, कहीं ना कहीं सब चीजें पॉलिटिक्स से रिलेटेड होती है। तो उन्होंने ये कह दिया कि चलो ठीक है, इलेक्शन तक वेट कर लो, वी कैन स्ट्राइक ए न्यू डील। आप थोड़ा सा रिकलेक्ट करें, जस्ट आफ्टर द इलेक्शन वाज कंक्लूडेड, इंडिया ने यूएस ने इंडिया को जो जीएसपी जनरलाइज सिस्टम ऑफ प्रेफरेंस था उस लिस्ट से विड्रॉ कर लिया। जीएसपी उसके लिए होता है जो डेवलप्ड कंट्री है। अब यूएस इंडिया को डेवलप नहीं, डेवलपिंग कंट्री मान रही है, ड्यू टू व्हिच इंडिया इज सफरिंग $6 billion as of now. So basically it was a tactical move by the US government to put on pressure in Indian government in turn, so that the Indian government can give some concession to the US, and in turn the trade between both can be normalized. So look for this, definitely there will be some trade deal between India and the US. Now friends, when we talk about this diplomacy, it is based upon actually appeasement. You will have to look upon this appeasement in terms of आपको जो leaders हैं उसके एक personal like and dislikes को देखना होगा, और कहीं ना कहीं आपको उसके accordingly maneuvering करनी होगी। मैं एक छोटा सा example देता हूँ। 5-6 लीडर्स की बात कर रहा हूँ, उनके काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है ये एक्चुअली। When we talk about Clinton, he was quite inclined towards the economy. Okay. Raw basically lured him by making India an economic superpower, and Clinton 2.0 started taking India seriously. So that was the first scenario. Second, coming to the George Bush, we know 9/11 happened, and he was quite apprehensive about this terrorism. इंडियन गवर्नमेंट का क्या स्टैंड था, वाजपेयी जी उस टाइम पावर में थे, उन्होंने काफी स्ट्रांगली सपोर्ट किया था यूएस गवर्नमेंट के मूव को ऑन द टेररिज्म, and he actually appeases the relation between India and the US was on the peak at the time of Bush. Bush was quite favorable to India. Coming to the Obama, initially he was hostile to Indian interests, but he was a great champion of environment issue. Remember Modi 1.0, came out with ISA, International Solar Alliances. So he tried to appease Modi, this Obama government. Consequently, Obama gave good concession to India in many terms. Now coming to the Trump. Trump is quite, he's actually a businessman, and he is actually quite concerned about this trade talks. So definitely Modi 2.0 government will be giving some concession to it, to the Trump, in order to create a win-win situation for India as well as US. So these were basically some wisdom talks from the past. So by now I'm concluding my video lecture because we are exceeding from time also. I will take some questions now. First question is from the Neha. Is Kashmir issue has been internalized? Actually internalized I think होना चाहिए. Interested लिखा हुआ है. ये internalize होना चाहिए basically I think. Interested का कोई meaning होता नहीं है. I will come to your answer. Is Kashmir issue has been internalized, internationalized? I think that will be internalized. शायद यही होगा. Friends, now when we talk about this, if Kashmir issue has been internationalized means क्या कश्मीर का issue अब देश का मामला नहीं रहा, अंतरराष्ट्रीय मामला हो गया. Yes, definitely. How? मैं थोड़ा सा पास्ट में जाता हूँ. Since terrorism started, जब से टेररिज्म का स्टार्ट हुआ था, इंडियन हेड ऑफ स्टेट अंडरप्लेड ऑन द कश्मीर. जब से भी ये टेररिज्म स्टार्ट हुआ 1990s 89 के बाद से, हमेशा कश्मीर के इशू को इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने अंडरप्लेड किया है. इवन कि सबको पता था कि टेररिज्म कहीं ना कहीं कश्मीर को अफेक्ट कर रही है, बट कहीं ना कहीं कश्मीर से चीजें शिफ्ट होकर टेररिज्म की ओर आ रही थी. वो जानबूझ के इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ट्राई करी थी. When there was attack on the parliament and 26/11 happened, the reason was onus was shifted upon the terrorism from this Kashmir issue, because no Indian leader wanted to turn focus on Kashmir. But the genesis of the terrorism was from the Kashmir itself. Definitely Pak establishment didn't like it. Now, of late, even India is strategically trying to bring back the attention of world on the Kashmir. And actually, by doing this, India convinced the world that Kashmir is actually a matter of internal thing. Actually, Kashmir is internal problem to the India, barring few nations like China and Turkey, who is opposing. Otherwise, almost every country is endorsing the move made by India as its internal problem. US ने अभी कुछ दिन पहले क्या कल परसों स्टेटमेंट दिया कि why Pak don't talk about human right violations in the Western China, and he talks about the terrorism in Kashmir always. UK ने स्टेटमेंट दिया है terrorism in Kashmir is not coming out from moon. तो ये दो बड़े बड़े नेशन का स्टेटमेंट आपको शो करती है कि now world is fed up with this victim card policy of this Pakistan. Kashmir is internalized, but world is understanding this. The Kashmir is the internal problem of India, and actually there is no harm in it basically until unless again one interesting thing. Harm भी है इसका. When Burhan Wani was killed, basically 40 people died within 1 week of his killing. 40 लोग उसके बाद पूरे प्रोटेस्ट में मारे गए थे, बट वर्ल्ड ने उतना ध्यान नहीं दिया था. Reason being, at that time the focus was not on the Kashmir. The world focus was not on the Kashmir, but after the abrogation of Article 371, one teenager boy got killed, and the entire world was having this hue and cry that there are gross violation of human rights in Kashmir. So that is actually negative side of this also कि यदि कश्मीर इंटरलाइज हुआ तो क्या क्या नुकसान और क्या क्या फायदे हो सकते हैं. As of now हम अभी strong position में हैं, so there is no need to worry. Second is question is how you see position of Pakistan. Actually, Pakistan, again I am saying Pakistan, now world is actually fed up from this rhetoric and and nuclear threat from the Pakistan, because actually basically friends, no reasonable country like irresponsible talk from the responsible leader. This is the basic funda. I will repeat. No reasonable or responsible country likes irresponsible talk from the responsible leaders. And the nuclear threat by and large, which is being, even कल उन्होंने अपने स्टेटमेंट में दिया है कि we can go for war, हमारे पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है because we are a nation of 7 times smaller than India and this and that, and हमारे पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं होगा but to embrace the death and all. So they are trying to play a victim card, and now world is actually fed up from it. ट्रम्प ने उनको स्नब किया बेसिकली, डायरेक्टली नहीं इनडायरेक्टली सही, पूरे वर्ल्ड ने स्नब किया बारिंग टर्की एंड चाइना। टर्की और चाइना ने किया क्योंकि उनके अपने अपने फायदे हैं। एंड लार्जली वर्ल्ड इज एक्सेप्टिंग कश्मीर एज ए इंटरनल इशू। सो पाकिस्तान का ये था कि वो इंटरनेशनलाइज कर दे और मल्टीलैटरल और यूएन में इसको ड्रैग करे, बट इंडिया ने अपने डिप्लोमेटिक चैनल्स और पाओ के थ्रू उसको कंटेन कर लिया है। सो देयर इज नो नीड टू वरी दैट पाकिस्तान इज ऑन द अपर एंड। डेफिनेटली पाकिस्तान को भी कुछ फायदा हुआ, लाइक इमरान खान को काफी मीडिया कवरेज मिल रहा है आजकल। उन्होंने अल जजीरा में इंटरव्यू दिया है, न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स में शायद दिया, न्यूयॉर्क जाके भी कुछ कुछ बोल रहा है, और भी बहुत सारे चैनल्स पे उनको काफी इंटरव्यू। तो उसके कारण क्या हो रहा है ना, पाकिस्तान का एक जो कांस्टेंट पैरोकियल माइंडसेट बाहर आ रहा है बेसिकली, वो उनका ऑब्सेशन विद इंडिया इज नॉट गोइंग ऑन। ऑल्दो इंडियन एस्टैब्लिशमेंट हैज गॉन अवे विद पाकिस्तान ओरिएंटेड ऑब्सेशन, बट पाकिस्तान इज नॉट गिविंग अप ऑन इट। सो उनको कुछ कुछ फायदा हुआ, बट लार्जली वी आर ऑन द हायर ग्राउंड, हायर मोरल एज वेल एज अदर ग्राउंड। सो दैट इज पोजीशन ऑफ इंडिया। So there are two questions. In case you are having any question, you may feel free to ask. I think there is no more question. May I call you? Ending up. We'll wait for 1 minute in case there is some question. No question. Okay, thank you so much. There was some disturbances. I apologize, but मेरा कोई इशू नहीं था और मेरा कुछ रोल नहीं था, इंटरनेट स्पीड काफी स्लो थी, that's why. There is one question from Anil. Is it right to influence the government making process of other country? Sir, I have already told that. Actually, I described it as well, that Indian foreign policy is now coming out from the yoke of old and outdated this moral kind of thing to the new and pragmatic foreign policy. Now, if something is in favor of India, I will quote here Jaishankar. If something is in favor of India, India will definitely seek that option. उन्होंने कुछ और भी word कहे थे, but उनका essence यही था. So in case we are using soft power to influence any political establishment, either internal or external, definitely there is no harm until unless it is done in the right spirit legally. So what I think, there is no harm in it to influence the government making. Like I have explained this Bangladesh का situation, मालदीव्स का सिचुएशन, या नेपाल या भूटान का, यहाँ पे कभी भी हॉस्टाइल गवर्नमेंट आती है तो इट क्रिएट्स एक्चुअली बिग टेंशन फॉर इंडिया एज वेल इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल सिक्योरिटी. So definitely in case a country with the stature of US is and the leader of US is in favor of Indian establishment, definitely it will benefit India in long term. So, and we are not doing any rigging into this election, like what is Russia is being accused of, or what Trump as of now is facing, because he tried to persuade the Ukrainian government to put some dirt on the son of Bernie Sanders. So we are not doing this, so there is no harm as of now. That is my understanding. Okay, friends, I'm winding up. There's no more question. In case you have any suggestion or feedback, you can give us to this feedback mechanism there in the YouTube. We'll definitely listen and try to incorporate all these suggestions. Thank you.